You start earning more money, but somehow you still feel broke because financial stability isn't about earning more, it's about following the right habits. In this video, we'll go through minimalist money rules you should always follow to stay financially stable. Rule number 1 is simple: calculate the true cost of anything you buy. Most people only look at the price tag and think that's the only amount they're going to pay, but in reality, the cost is much more than the tag price. Every item brings hidden charges with it. Maintenance, repairs, upgrades, and storage space are all costs to be incurred over the period. A thing you bought for $500 might turn into a $1,000 expense over the next year. But even if you understand the true cost of things, it won't matter much if you never decide how much is actually enough for you. This sounds simple, but most people never actually do it. When your income goes up, your lifestyle quietly goes up with it. You buy a better phone, maybe eating out a little more often. None of it feels lavish on its own, but the cumulative impact is what keeps you stuck in the same place financially. That's why you need a clear definition of what living well actually costs for you. Pick a number that covers your monthly needs and a comfortable lifestyle. Once you have that number, treat it like a ceiling, not a target to constantly raise. Because the moment you decide what enough looks like, something interesting happens. Any money beyond that threshold suddenly has a purpose: saving, investing, or buying back your future freedom. But once you decide what enough looks like, another question appears: where is your money actually going every month? Most people don't realize that the biggest damage to their finances rarely comes from small daily purchases. It usually comes from the big monthly bills that quietly repeat themselves: rent, car payments, subscriptions, insurance. These expenses can easily eat 60 to 70% of your income, and once they're locked in, they become very hard to escape. That's why someone can stop buying coffee, cook every meal at home, and still feel broke at the end of the month. Because the real drain is happening automatically. The smart move is to cut these costs first. Moving to a slightly cheaper place, renegotiating insurance, canceling subscriptions you forgot about can free up hundreds of dollars every month. And unlike cutting small pleasures, these changes happen once, but the savings repeat every single month. It's like fixing a leaking pipe instead of constantly mopping the floor. Track your spending for 1 month and look closely at the bills that show up again and again. Those are the ones that deserve your attention first. Lowering fixed costs creates space in your budget, but without a system, that space fills up faster than you'd expect. And that's exactly what rule number 4 is about. Most people don't fail because they're bad with numbers. They fail because they rely on willpower. They tell themselves, "I'll save whatever's left at the end of the month." And at the end of the month, there's nothing left except pending bills. Instead of saving what's left, you move money the moment your paycheck arrives. A fixed percentage, maybe 20%, maybe more, goes straight into savings or investments before you even have the chance to spend it. Once it's gone, your brain adjusts to living on what remains. But a perfect saving system can fail if you don't know the difference between something you truly need and something that just feels urgent at the moment. You need food, but you obviously don't need to eat in a premium buffet. A phone is a need, but a new iPhone model every year is not what you need. Our brains are very good at turning wants into important purchases. It's a talent we all seem to have. Let me tell you a trick that works surprisingly well: the 30-day rule. If something isn't essential, wait 30 days before buying it. Write it down on a small list and come back to it later. Most of the time, the excitement fades. In fact, many people discover something funny during this process. They don't even remember why they wanted the item in the first place. But to make this rule even more powerful, you can add one small barrier between you and impulsive spending. Most modern spending is designed to feel effortless. One tap, one click, face scan, and the money is gone in a moment. Convenience is terrible for protecting your wallet. That's why a little friction can save you a lot of money. Simple things work surprisingly well. Remove your saved cards from shopping apps. Use cash for certain purchases, or create a 24 to 48 hour waiting rule before buying anything that isn't essential. That small pause gives your brain time to catch up with your impulse. Very often, the excitement fades once you step away from that buy now button. Another useful trick is keeping a maybe list. Whenever you want something, write it down instead of buying it immediately. Review that list at the end of the week. You'll probably notice that many items suddenly feel unnecessary. It turns out a lot of purchases only feel important at the moment. And once you slow spending down like this, another pattern starts to appear. When you add friction to your spending, something surprising happens. You start thinking more carefully about the few things that are actually worth your money. Cheap stuff is, ironically, more expensive in the long run. Buying 5 $40 pans over a few years often costs more than buying one $200 pan that lasts a decade. That's just simple math. Fewer things, higher quality, and longer use means less stress, less clutter, and fewer buying regret moments. Before buying anything, ask yourself this: does this actually solve a real problem? And even if it does, will I actually use it enough for the cost to make sense? Or will it end up forgotten in a drawer in a few months? Once you start buying better, you naturally resist lifestyle creep. And rule number 8 is all about keeping your lifestyle in check. This one sneaks up on almost everyone. Your income increases, and suddenly your life starts to change with your income. Upgrading your lifestyle every time you earn more keeps you trapped. That extra money disappears as quickly as it arrived, and years later, you realize you never actually got ahead. The smarter move is to keep the increase safely in a bank and earn passive income. Keep living as you did before, but let the extra cash work for your future instead. Over a lifetime, avoiding lifestyle creep can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Wealth isn't about showing off, it's about having options and freedom. The next rule builds on this principle, and understanding it could be the key to unlocking true financial freedom. For investments, index funds or automated retirement accounts are your options because of their low risk profiles. Start small, even $500 every month will do wonders. Set it on autopilot and forget it. Over time, compounding does all the work. After quite a few years, your monthly investments will turn into serious money. And once your money starts growing on its own, it's easier to see your net worth, not just your next purchase. Not your income, but your net worth is the ratio that depicts your growth. Net worth is your total assets minus total liabilities. Keep a record and log it once a month, watching it grow. Even slow growth means you are on the right track. It also reveals which of your habits are actually working and which are just a waste of time. Once you focus on this one number, every other rule suddenly makes sense. They all add up to progress you can see. If you want to start today, don't try to apply all 10 at once. Pick 3 rules and focus on those this week.